My pursuit of a beast, a wild hog that is running as fast as the wind and attempting to escape my sight, is currently underway. Now that these creatures have wreaked havoc on fields and placed livestock in danger, it is time to put an end to their destructive behavior. However, if you take a single poor photo from a helicopter, it may happen. Not a game, but a war is taking place here. Are you capable of facing a herd of wild animals? Do you have what it takes? Make sure you stay until the very end to watch how I defeat them. To ensure that you don't miss a single shot, click the like button right now and subscribe to the channel. Wild hogs are not similar to other types of prey. The tusks of these wrecking machines are sharp enough to rip through anything, and they weigh 400 pounds. They can go at a speed of 30 miles per hour. They cause damage to crops, assault cattle, and even pose a risk to human beings in the state of Texas. It is too slow and too dangerous to hunt them on foot, which results in over $2.50 billion worth of damage being caused across the United States each year. As a result, I am currently atop this helicopter, holding a firearm in my hand. When the weather is clear and the wind is consistent, it is ideal for hunting monsters from above. There, a pig that had been lurking in the dense grass has now revealed its identity. I raise my rifle, lock it, and bam, it falls instantaneously. It bolts as the helicopter pulls overhead, and I immediately drop it. There are new tracks not too far away, and another one is attempting to make a move. Another blow, another takedown, and there is no way out of this situation. The helicopter is being flown toward more dense vegetation as we continue to go forward. These tracks are new and they are really close. Right there they are. The sound of the rotor causes them to disperse in all directions. They are aware of the impending peril. There is a continuous barrage of gunfire. I won't allow these petty critters to escape. All of a sudden, the fields and bushes were covered in hog carcasses, one after the other. Following that, our chopper proceeded to a big open field, which was one of the hogs' preferred targets. When they heard the helicopter, these wild beasts ran about without fear, tearing through everything that stood in their way until they recognized it. Then absolute anarchy broke out. They dispersed in a state of fear, but we remained steadfast in our pursuit. We got closer and closer, locating each individual. All of a sudden, gunfire broke out. Each and every bullet is accurate. Eventually, each of them fell to the ground, and their bodies were dispersed across the field. No, hunting is not a sport. It's a fight. These creatures are responsible for the destruction of crops, the loss of billions of dollars, the harm to livestock, and even the risk to human life. We fight back from the air, preserving the soil, rescuing the livelihoods of farmers, and bringing nature back into harmony. The day was ideal for hunting down these monsters since the sky was clear and blue, and the sun was shining brightly the entire day. The wild hogs fell into a state of fear and dispersed down, but they were unable to avoid our inspection. Guns were ready as the aircraft descended to a low altitude. Striking like steel hunters from the broad bay, we made our move. A series of fast bursts of gunfire broke out. Every shot hit its target one by one as the hogs rushed around in a state of disarray. With each draw of the trigger, another hit was delivered to the target. We had to get rid of the last of them before the evening sun set, which was happening very quickly. While hidden deep within the trees, the surviving pigs were attempting to sneak past the push without being discovered. After squeezing the trigger, I fired the gun quickly in the direction that they were running. While the rest did not fall, one of them did. While they were quick, they were not quick enough. As it descended, the helicopter flew over every available area of cover. A trail could not save them from this vantage point. In order to complete the task, we tracked them down, locked in on them, and fired without stopping. All of us have left, and we have all left. Oh, 9 o'clock, 9 o'clock, large pigs, big pigs, big pigs. The state of Louisiana, where the fields are big and the swamps are vast, is preparing to face an unwanted adversary in the form of wild pigs. The damage that is caused by pigs that are allowed to roam freely is believed to be in the millions of dollars each year, as stated by the statistics provided by the local authorities. Until the pigs arrived at our houses, we couldn't contain our excitement. It was impossible for us to wait for them to destroy our crops. In addition, we were unable to eliminate each individual one by one using the traditional method, because it was both too risky and too slow. Therefore, the airborne assault was initiated, and those of us who are experienced hunters were invited to participate in it. After boarding the helicopter, we were on our way to the immense plains that lay ahead. While we were in the air, we witnessed the terrified piglets run away. We continued to fire, focusing our shots at the pigs that were below us, despite the roar of the propellers. We were able to locate the target with relative ease due to the wide terrain. The herd of pigs was efficiently eliminated because there was nowhere for them to hide. From where we were standing on the plain, we were able to identify the presence of yet another herd of wild pigs. On the other hand, they were concealed in the neighboring forest, which made it impossible to view them properly. So, a strategy was devised. A disturbance was generated by the plane as it approached, decreased its height, and got closer. In the end, after half an hour of patience, the wild pigs had reached their breaking point and fled the area. It is impossible for the outcome to be any other way. A lightning attack was carried out, and we were able to successfully eliminate the target. In spite of this, a few wild boars were fortunate enough to make it out of the mayhem. Immediately began a pursuit of the target. It has arrived. The boars started running away as soon as they became aware of the target. Following our successful identification of the location of the herd of pigs, we prepared to launch an assault. These wild boars were more crafty than we had anticipated they would be. The fact that they were able to avoid the deadly shot took the entire squad by surprise. Almost immediately after that, we also made the most of the situation and took down a couple more wild boars. The hunting method that you are using is really efficient. Finding the target did not take us an excessive amount of time. Some wild boars were attempting to flee after the furious conflict that had just taken place. They broke away from the herd and rushed frantically in every direction. Everyone on the team fought with all of their strength, not wanting to miss out on the opportunity. Our weapons were pointed toward the largest of them, and we pulled the trigger on them. It's amazing how big this target is. A decisive shot was fired by me as I aimed at the critical location. There was no way for the wild boar to get away after the huge blast that occurred. We proceeded to go towards the verdant fields while continuing the fight. They believed that the long grass would assist them in concealing themselves, but their efforts were in vain. It was possible for us to locate the objective. They escaped at a breakneck speed after being discovered, which was a very quick escape. We were only successful in taking down a few targets. In spite of this, we did not give up and continued to pursue the target. Our high-altitude hunting adventure resumed in the afternoon as we continued our journey. The pigs were also very busy during this time, despite the fact that we were better prepared than we were the previous time. To be honest, we have no recollection of the number of pigs that were slaughtered today. It is possible that this is a very large number, and the hunt was successful. As soon as we arrived at the hunting grounds in Africa, we were overwhelmed with a mixture of enthusiasm and caution. This location is not only a land of gorgeous golden grasslands, but it is also a battleground where predators and prey are engaged in a never-ending struggle for existence. Our travel companion, a seasoned hunter who resides in this area, informed us that the population of wild animals has skyrocketed, which poses a threat to the towns that are located nearby. In order to maintain the natural equilibrium and bring the population under control, it is important to go on a hunting expedition. We tracked the footprints of a lion pride that was hiding near the edge of the forest, where the villagers had reported that they had been attacked by livestock on multiple occasions. An audible growl that was both deep and resonant could be heard in the distance, indicating the presence of a genuine predator. The fact that lions are dangerous animals meant that we had to exercise extraordinary caution. As quickly as we could, we took up positions and raised our weapons, getting ready for a fight that could end our lives. As we slowly moved through the low shrubs and concealed ourselves behind the big tree trunks, we could feel the tension in the air gradually increasing. The first bullet that was fired struck the shoulder of the lion, but it was not even close to being enough to knock it down. It growled loudly, and its eyes lit up with rage as it did so. For the purpose of preventing this powerful predator from launching an unexpected counterattack, we had to constantly fire while maintaining flawless coordination. We let out a sigh of relief as the lion fell to the ground, but we were well aware that this was only the beginning of a long and difficult day before us. As we proceeded with our adventure, we went into the broad grassland, where a herd of zebras was happily grazing. Because of their growing population, the people were in need of their meat and hides because their proliferation was harming the food supplies of other animals. This time, in contrast to the encounter with the lion, it was a genuine pursuit. They are as quick as the wind, and if they heard even the tiniest noise, they would run away like a storm. One of the groups exerted pressure on the other to lure them into an ambush, and we divided ourselves into teams. In response to the sound of gunfire, the zebras sprinted forward in a state of terror. We had previously determined their course. An adult zebra was killed in an instant once it was discovered. Deep hoofprints were left in the dry grass as the remaining individuals disappeared into the distance. To our good fortune, we were able to capture yet another zebra before they were able to reach their destination. When we were searching for the zebras, we were taken aback when we came across a kudu, which is a big antelope with amazing spiral horns, hidden in the thick bushes. Reaching out to a kudu is not a simple endeavor. They have a high level of vigilance and are able to flee at a maximum speed if they perceive that they are in danger. An enormous male kudu stood away from the others and attentively surveyed its surroundings. Our goal was to achieve this. Immediately after the initial shot was fired, the kudu stumbled and then collapsed. In an instant, the remaining members of the herd ran away, but we had already gotten ahead of them. Another member of the squad waited patiently, took precise aim, and then pulled the trigger, resulting in a flawless shot. While we were traveling over the huge plains, we came upon another group of antelopes while they were feeding. Antelopes, in addition to zebras, are considered vital sources of meat in a great number of African tribes. The flesh is consumed by the locals, and the hides are fashioned into traditional garments and implements by the people who live there. Under the scorching heat of the sun, the antelopes maintained a high level of vigilance, their eyes continually searching for any threats. The moment as a single antelope moved significantly away from the herd, we understood that this was the ideal opportunity to take advantage of. We approached cautiously in order to avoid being discovered. The time has come for this. The gun was ready to be fired. The target was hit with a shot that was perfect. After hearing a booming gunshot that reverberated throughout the plains, the huge antelope immediately fell to the ground. We pulled the trigger as soon as the target appeared in the field of view. A single shot resulted in the death of the individual. Not only did this hunt produce considerable results, but it also contributed to the maintenance of a healthy animal population, which in turn ensured the safety of the local inhabitants. In the past, wild boars were a part of the natural wilderness. However, in recent years, they have proliferated at an alarming rate, and they have swiftly become a nightmare for the people of Colorado. From the fringes of the forest, they have begun to appear in enormous numbers over the fields, wreaking havoc on the crops and creating damage that is getting progressively more severe and extensive. When confronted with this fact, hunting is no longer merely a recreational activity. The preservation of the land, the crops, and the means of subsistence for the people who live in the area has become a mission. Every aspect of today's hunt, from the firearms and ammo to the dogs used for hunting, was meticulously organized. As our heartbeats became more tense like strings that were being pulled, we started going into an area that wild boars frequented frequently. The field that lay in front of us had just been harvested, and it was entirely open and expansive. It was an excellent place for wild boars to graze, but it was also an excellent place for an ambush. As there was nothing to block the vision, the initial target began to zoom in on the target. A solitary hog was seen walking along the perimeter of the field. After carefully aiming my weapon, I raised it to my shoulder and pressed the trigger. The boar was hit by a few gunshots, and it immediately collapsed on the spot after being hit. However, in order to find additional targets, we had to reroute our efforts toward the steep region behind the field, where the difficult terrain displayed significant evidence of wild boar activity. This helped us feel more optimistic about our chances of success. As soon as we arrived, I proceeded to select a high and open vantage point in order to improve my visibility. There was not much time that passed before the next target materialized. The creature made a hasty descent down a slope and attempted to flee into a dense undergrowth below. I did not hesitate prior to raising my gun, determining the timing of my shot, and pulling the trigger. Suddenly, a barrage of gunfire rang out. As a result of being struck, the boar tumbled down the hill. We made the decision to relocate to a lower, flatter region after around an hour had passed in order to improve our chances of identifying targets from a greater distance. It was at this point that the pack of hunting dogs revealed their true depth. They had a simpler time picking up odors and chasing them down the hill since there were fewer impediments in between. Due to the limited number of trees and the limited number of hiding places, we hunters had to exercise extraordinary caution and maintain complete silence. Wild boars are particularly vigilant animals. If we did not maintain a high level of concealment, they would be able to readily identify our presence and instantly run away.